Hey, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another episode of Shagnik Speaks. Here we discuss things we all felt, but somehow couldn't express. Myself Shagnik. I tried, I won, and maybe I even succeeded. But do I deserve all of this? Am I really that good at it? Could I give more of myself, but I'm not putting that much effort in? Imposter Syndrome. A condition where a person cannot accept their success internally. It's a really important issue that needs to be addressed, and I want to be very clear with a few points. This is such a feeling that a person wouldn't get it unless they had been through this. A feeling of phoniness, doubting their own abilities. I have spoken to many who have really high abilities in the external fields, but they doesn't even take accountability of their own success. If you know someone who can relate to this, make sure to share and let them know. So you tend to manifest negative self-talk, right? You feel like all you have achieved till date is mostly by luck and very little by your capability. You're unable to enjoy success. You fear that your inadequacy will come to light. Your thoughts of being a fraud and having deficiencies are nothing but an illusion, and it's known as Imposter Syndrome. And you must know one thing, Imposter Syndrome can do real damage. It can increase anxiety, smack off your success, and sometimes can completely break you down and force you to believe that you cannot go any further. Let's not get confused between humility and this issue. Humility and humbleness are actually good. Let's be open to the fact that no person knows everything. Yet, Imposter Syndrome is completely different from a healthy dose of mindfulness. There are different types in this. The first and the most common is the perfectionist. When a person feels that until and unless they were absolutely perfect, they could have done better. This makes you feel like an imposter because your perfectionist traits make you believe that you're not good as others might think you are. Okay, as you know, I'm brutally honest with you guys. This one has caused me a lot of damage. I am a perfectionist. And I'm not at all bragging about this. I suggest you, please, do not be a perfectionist. This illusion of being perfect at everything I do has caused me to lose plenty of opportunities and has left me unable to meet my personal deadlines, which further ended up demotivating me. Slowly but gradually, I'm healing and I'm improving. And all these are possible just because I'm aware of myself. I regularly check on myself, where am I going wrong? And I believe there is always a scope for improvement. The other one is a natural genius. One who feels that they are stupid just because they are not quite well at something naturally. They tend to deny the fact that they can get better with time, even if they fail on the first try. We need to remember that nobody does their best work on the first try. The more you put time into improving something, the better it becomes. The soloist is one of the other types. They are generally miles away from asking for help. They feel guilty for asking help from somebody or other. If they couldn't reach their goal, somehow they'll start questioning their own competence. And you know what? Asking for help when you need it is the best thing you can do for yourself. Go, ask for help, and get things done. The other one we have is the super person. A person who feels like they must be the hardest worker in the room. Otherwise, they wouldn't be considered as genuine, eventually leaving them feeling like a fraud. Sometimes we get influenced by all the highlights we receive from others, and to match them, somehow we burden ourselves with these. And believe me, it's alright, until it crosses the limit. And last but not the least, we have the expert. Some of us feel that if we don't know everything there is to know about a certain subject or a topic, or if we haven't mastered every step in the process, we are not doing better, and we are lagging behind. Well, did you notice that the first type we discussed was a perfectionist, and at last, it was the expert? I tried to tell you that it's all in our mind. And it's basically surrounded by the idea of being perfect or being an expert, which holds us back and leaves us feeling like an imposter. I know that's too much information. Let's just talk about the reasons behind this. You know what? Family pressure plays a huge role in this. Our core is built up with all the childhood memories, and even a little issue can end up breaking us completely in adulthood. A huge emphasis on achievement or being overly critical of success may develop these syndromes. For example, Shagnik's family praises him and brags to his friends and relatives about his achievements and being good in studies. But one day, Shagnik scored a little less than what he usually achieves. He was happy with it and rushed to his family. Then they said, "What happened? Why couldn't you do better?" Imagine how the child's expectation must have been crushed. By the way, I used my name just for an example, and I'm really grateful to God for giving me this family which has never ever let me go through this feeling. Fingers crossed. We must know one thing: the past cannot be changed. Even if you have faced all of these, make sure to heal yourself and don't ever let your children go through this. I said this earlier too. Choosing the right social group is just as important as every other thing. A group that doesn't set a baseline for your value, that you will always have to be at your best. If you feel your friend group judges you for any of your achievements, success, or materialistic things, my friend, you have got to rethink. Sometimes, not being able to communicate well is the concrete reason behind this. A person who is an introvert will naturally process their feeling on their own, and based on the research, we subconsciously tend to do negative self-talk, which leads to demolishing our very own achievements. Thus, I say, checking on yourself is so necessary. How you talk to yourself matters. Remember, self-doubts, undervaluing your contributions, setting unrealistic expectations from oneself, and a continuous feeling of not living up to your expectations are the core attributes of the imposter syndrome. One of our listeners had requested me to make a dedicated episode on how we pull ourselves down by thinking that we are not doing as well as we should. I tried my best to portray how most of us feel. If you have something that you would want me to cover on my next podcast, make sure to DM me on Instagram @IamShagnik, I_am_Shagnik, or on Facebook it's @Shagnik Sarkar. So yeah, that was all about today's topic, and I promise to meet you again here with something common that we all felt. Not all things need to be different, right? Myself Shagnik, signing off.